Welcome back, everybody. Hello, happy Wednesday. This is the Blackfire Technical Analysis YouTube channel. I am your host, Crypto Bro, also known as Brian to many others. It is a beautiful and foggy and moist, very moist Wednesday night / early Thursday morning today. I do love this type of weather. We do feel the fall. The fall is starting to set in a little bit. Winter is coming, everybody, unfortunately. We're back at it again with another edition of the daily live stream. Plenty to cover today. And again, anytime I do any of this analysis, I toot my own horn a little bit. But when you prepare for anything, some of these market movements typically come as no surprise here. And we're going to go ahead and start off with NASDAQ. One of the perfect examples of coming to no surprise here today. Nice little candle closure the other day below the 21 exponential here, and look what we got. Boom, nice support of that 21 exponential. Right, and the initial break to me doesn't automatically mean that the 21 is new resistance here. Again, that secondary candle closure below the 21 tells me that it is confirmed. That is the confirmation signal that we are looking at the 21 acting as new tentative resistance. However, we did not get that. We actually saw the 21 remain as support here with a sharp candle closure back above it here. Now looking at a little bit of a recession as a result of that. We're still above the 21 exponential. We did find support. This could very easily prove to be that higher low structure that we're looking for here on NASDAQ. Well, we do have a couple of conflicting indicators here. RSI coming up. We don't really have a low call here. I do believe this is lined up with that drive back above the 21 exponential, and I'm still looking for the same condition here. I would be very comfortable with any closure above the 13th of September wick high here, somewhere around 15,530. Any closure above there likely initiates that low call here on the RSI, and a continuation drive likely follows as a result here. Again, seeing a nice little bounce off of that support structure here. I did say yesterday that it was possible to bounce off this region. It was also possible to see a breakdown below that region, which in my opinion is still very, very possible here. We're just talking about the bullish perspective here. Well, when in doubt, pull out. And when you pull out the whole structure here, we do see rising lows and rising highs. While we're seeing what is potentially a bullish reset. If I see evidence of market continuation to the upside, I will definitely be confident that we're looking at momentum oscillators initiating a little bit of a bullish reset here. While closing back above the 21 exponential here, we did get a confirmation break of that 50 read here on stochastic, so there is a little bit of a sign concern here. Again, assuming the 21 doesn't hold, right? Assuming the 21 exponential doesn't hold here, that is a little bit concerning. But the fact that RSI here is still, remaining structurally intact, this is one of those instances where there's a couple sides to the bulls, a couple sides to the bears here. Structure being maintained here on RSI is 1 point for the bulls. Structure breakdown on stochastics here gives a point to the bears. Potential higher low gives gives you that potential point to the bulls as well. But again, this is only a possible higher low. Again, I need to see that candle closure back above the 13th of September wick high at 15,530 before I'm confident of a continuation drive. If that condition is met, even today, I will be looking for a continuation drive to the first resistance here at $15,600 and likely higher to test the all-time high resistance. And as we all know, if we do break that all-time high resistance, the 1.414 Fibonacci extension is going to be the next valid target, in my opinion, as this market likely turns and prints new all-time highs. However, if we could continue to see like a battle with this 21 exponential, we could very easily be opening up a little bit of a consolidation range. And while I don't think this is too valid right now, I need to see a little bit more price action first. While it's not very valid in my opinion, it is still one of those possibilities that we could be opening up a little bit of a consolidation range here on the 21 exponential. We do see the top side resistance of this region here acting as resistance at the current moment in time. Not too strengthily, to be quite honest with you, but acting as resistance nonetheless. Pull back to the 21 could potentially be, in the midst for today here, but I'm not really looking at it like that. I'm looking at that 21 exponential here and looking for this region here, this structure here to formulate as new tentative support. We haven't tested this region at all since breaking out above it, and nice little back test of the prior breakout zone here. not out of the question here. It is confirmed as new tentative support. As long as the conditions maintain above that horizontal support, it will continue to act as support. And obviously, I don't have to say this that many times for you guys to know my trading strategy. As long as we're closing candles above that 21 exponential, I'm going to automatically look for price targets to the upside first and foremost. However, if we come on down and crash back below the 21 exponential here, more importantly, I would look for this structure here, this support at 15,375 to break. And if we get that condition met here, I would look for the next soft target to the downside to be this support level here at 15,280, but likely overall a pullback to this region here at 15,180. Excuse me. And again, we have conflicting, we have a couple of conflicting indications here. Again, we don't have a low call here, so I can't tell you guys that this is a low structure just yet. It's just a potential low structure in formation here. Again, while we don't have that low call, I have to look at it, I have to look at it with an unbiased opinion here. As I get some water in my system here. Looking at it with an unbiased opinion, again, I don't trade my opinion. I trade technical analysis, and really, in my opinion, no positions to be had quite yet, unless we see that secondary confirmation back above the 21. But even if we got that condition, with price action where it's at, I'd still be like a little weary. Why? Because, we do see RSI popping up near that exponential, that negatively sloped exponential, and then a nice little slope to the downside here. Again, I do believe this upside sloping structure here for RSI is very much at risk until proven otherwise, and that stochastics read below the 50, another, crucial indication that potentially the momentum is in the bear's hands at the current moment in time. Again, until proven otherwise. So, it's basically a waiting game. I have confirmation of nothing. I don't have a confirmation of breakdown or breakout just yet until, I get that confirmation signal. So that's going to do it for NASDAQ. Let's move on to SPY Futures. What are they telling us here? Continuing to reject the 21 exponential here, playing real loosely with that 50 read. We actually saw a break of structure here yesterday, barely, but enough for me to say, hey, we're starting to put a lot of heavy pressure on this diagonal uptrend line, and this one being a longer term structure here. We're starting to finalize a lot of pressure on this region, and we are starting to see this coiling action here, this chop right along that 21 exponential. And from my perspective, it's below the 21 exponential. Yes, I understand we broke resistance yesterday on yesterday's candle closure here, back above 44.70, but that doesn't mean jack shit in accordance with my own trading strategy and my own trading fundamental rules here. And as long as we're below that 21 exponential, I'm not looking for any kind of price action movement to the upside, but we will talk about that. Any candle closure above the 21, I want to see, again, that secondary open and closure back above the 21 for that confirmation signal. And I will, I'll be led to believe that, new all-time highs are very likely. Again, when in doubt, pull out, right? While this doesn't look necessarily like it's a breakdown structure just yet, doesn't mean it's not going to play out that way, right? But we do have rising higher lows all the way out through this formation here, rising highs along the way as well. This market is still very, very, very bullish, although although stochastics is absolutely getting crushed right now. RSI is playing around with that critical diagonal trend line to the upside. I would say that the bulls still have a little bit of hopium on their side for potential new all-time highs, but nothing is confirmed yet except the downside momentum biased here. Again, we're closing multiple candles below the 21 exponential, which leads me to believe that price action could easily come all the way back down and test the 44.18 region here. Maybe we see, again, just like NASDAQ, maybe we see a little bit of that consolidation start opening up here on SPY Futures as well. But more importantly, if we see the candle closure below 44.20 here, I do believe this low here is going to be very much at risk at the 43.77 region. I would call a major change of behavior anywhere below this structure right here. That sloppy line. Can't draw a straight line worth of shit here. But I am looking at this low here. If I see candles below this support level here, change of behavior is going to be very evident. I am looking at this region here. As a very, very significant low in the context of the formation as a whole. And if we do see that change of behavior, I do believe the next target to the downside would be this region here at $4,300, smack dab right on the money. Give or take a few bucks here or there, but that's a little bit of hindsight trading. My allergies are really fucking with me today. I do apologize, guys. This, it's a little bit of hindsight trading, inconsequential thought process here, a little mental masturbation here. I like to think of all sorts of different probabilities and possibilities for market movements here, and that's just one of the possibilities. But, we could easily recover. We saw a sharp incline on NASDAQ yesterday to close just on that 21 exponential. And if we zoom in, we can actually see that we didn't close above it. We're still technically below the 21 exponential, and we're still seeing it act as tentative resistance here. But if we do see an open and closure back above that 21 exponential, again, the first target that I'm realistically going to be looking for is this region here at 45.20, and possibly even new all-time highs above this resistance. And quite obviously, if we claim new all-time highs on SPY futures, the 1.414 Fibonacci extension is going to be the next target that I'm going to be kind of eyeballing here for the bullish momentum, the bullish perspective. And again, it could be a low. It could be. We don't have confirmation. We have confirmation of a trade below the 21 exponential, but we were putting a lot of pressure back on that 21 exponential in conjunction with this potential higher low structure. So it's kind of like we're in that neutral mindset. We're definitely in neutral territory from an RSI perspective. So as far as like looking for positions, maybe it's not the time, right? Until I get further confirmation that this is ready to break to the downside. I'm kind of just being patient. I'm kind of just waiting to see what price action does here, not really identifying any possible positions until a specific condition to the upside or to the downside is met. And again, breaking below the current low here is going to be one of those conditions for me to look for a little bit of a drive, probably below this this support level 44.20 here, and possibly even testing the prior low. But nothing concrete yet. Just kind of being patient. This is one of those regions where I'm like, I'm not comfortable with making specific reads here, just because again, this is another chart that has conflicting indications here, especially with RSI still maintaining that structure. Again, it has a lot of pressure, but nothing is confirmed yet. So that's kind of where I'm going to leave that one. Let's look at Dow Jones here. Man, you see what I'm talking about? Holy crap! Back above that support once again. Not confirming it as resistance. We've seen this 4 times. Break below, not confirmed as resistance. Break above, remain support. Break below, not confirmed as resistance. Break above. So I do believe we have a little bit of consolidation, maybe some downside consolidation. We do see these candles declining over time here. A little bit of downside pressure for sure. But when we look at RSI here, bouncing off that that diagonal trend line structure to the upside, that long-term structure. Again, we could just be looking at another, macro high or low. And again, when in doubt, pull out. You can easily draw a trend line from this point here all the way up and say, yep, these are rising lows. There's no argument about that. You can't argue change of behavior until we take out a major low, right? I don't really look at this support or this prior low here as a major low, although I do think price action has more of a probability to come to the downside with the factor that we're closing below that low a couple of times now. But then, we see price action recover back above it. I'm like, well, maybe not, right? Maybe fucking not. Maybe I'm just tripping right now. Some of these movements are kind of, a little bit confusing to me right now because, again, nothing extremely concrete as far as price action is concerned, except for, we're seeing stochastics get absolutely crushed to the downside. We'll take a look at that here, coming down into the bearish critical zone. Printing a new low, in my opinion, won't be necessarily a good thing. Because we technically do have, a little bit of a rising trend line here for the stochastics that we've already broken through, and the pressure is to the downside. But I do believe the bulls have some juice left in the tank to potentially print another higher low structure within this region and send price action to new all-time highs once again. Again, it's just a probability. It's one of the possibilities that I'm thinking about. I'm also looking for price action to break to the downside. So let's go ahead and talk about what I'm seeing here. Price action remains below the 21 exponential, and we see that 21 exponential gaining momentum to the downside here. But we've seen this in the past, and we've seen this kind of movement here react and print a higher low, a macro higher low, as a result, continuing to new all-time highs a couple of times already in this formation. Could we be looking at that once again? We very well could be looking at that once again. But again, I have to stick with my trading rules, and as long as we're below the 21 exponential, I'm going to be looking for price action to continue to decline over time. But if we do see a full recovery back above the 21 exponential with an open and closure to confirm back above it, I will look for the current resistance at this level here, 35,450 to be tested, and likely again new all-time highs, just because rising lows is a crucial indication of uptrend continuation. We really haven't seen the uptrend dissipate quite yet, and I have to stick with my guns here and say that it's still a possibility that we print a higher low along this region here and make full recovery to new all-time highs. Any closure above the all-time high, and I will look for price action to reach that target of the one spot to 272 Fibonacci extension, somewhere around 36,280 bucks over time. And again, RSI a little bit more confident inducing here, continuing to bounce off of this diagonal uptrend region here. We're below the 50 read, so again, more evidence of points being given to the bears and to the bulls at the same time. It makes price action a little bit more convoluted to understand. It makes things a little bit more confusing. But in my opinion, what's most important to pay attention to, again, from my trading strategies, is that 21 exponential and watching out for any kind of higher low call on any of these big three here. Again, we could see a higher low here on NASDAQ, very, very possible. We could see another higher low here on SPY futures, very, very possible. And we could see another higher low on Dow Jones Industrial, also very possible. And then we got to think about the other flipped side indications here. We're below the 21 exponential on two of the three here, so we could definitely see a downtrend formulate here. But I don't have enough evidence on the chart. It's, except for Dow Jones with that lower high and the lower low, we don't have too much evidence from a macro standpoint to say, yeah, this is a legitimate full-blown downtrend, and we could potentially be entering a bear market. We don't have evidence of that just yet. So I'm being patient. I'm kind of just cautiously waiting for a specific signal, specific indications, and they happen to line up with major levels here. The 21 being the major level that I'm looking at to the upside, and this low here on Dow Jones at 33,975 being the indication to the downside. SPY futures indication to the downside is also a major low here at 4380, and NASDAQ also another major low here at, we'll just call it 14,900, right? So, time to be patient. I'm just being patient, right? I'm just being patient, waiting for specific signals here. I do have targets to the upside. I do have targets to the downside. I am preparing for consolidation as well, and that's kind of where I'm going to leave the big three. So let's go ahead and move on. Let's check out what Dixie is doing. I imagine it's boring as fuck once again. No, actually breaking back below the 21 exponential here. Still no indication of whether this is going to be a lower high formation in this structure or not. But we are below the 21 exponential. The 21 exponential has been forced to a negative slope, and we are looking at a back test of new tentative resistance at the current moment in time. Any candle closure below the 21 exponential, and I will look for price action to move all the way back down to the current low, somewhere around 92.1. Let's go ahead and look what RSI is telling us here. Still a lot of that boring, non-interesting consolidation around that 50 read here. The exponential's basically been flatlined the whole time, but what's really important here is this long-term diagonal uptrend structure is still very much in play. We haven't seen a breakdown below the structure, and I would imagine if we do confirm new lows within this structure as a whole, below this region here at 92.1, that likely leads RSI to break back below this long-term diagonal uptrend structure on the RSI, and that's where I think the real juicy price action to the downside likely starts to open up. Looking at stochastics, yeah, we're getting some indications here, but all of this movement I do believe has been based off of boring as shit price action. Yeah, we got a little bit of a reaction, and then we just been consolidating basically for the past week and a half here, but we finally got a little bit of a warning shot fired below that 21 exponential, but momentum oscillator is really not telling me anything either. So again, it's another one of those instances where it's like, I don't want to let it confuse me, because it can be confusing with price action here. I'm still waiting for confirmation. I'm still waiting for a top call or a freaking, a freaking higher low call. Again, this is another instance where we could, reverse back above the 21, print a higher low within this structure, and move back above this horizontal resistance at 92.80, right? Definitely one of the possibilities to pay attention to, but this market is boring as shit right now. The dollar is boring. I am bored with the dollar. But there is some markets here that I am not bored with. So let's talk about targets. What kind of targets am I looking at? Oh, and by the way, a couple of things. I'm trying to slow it down. Had a guy tell me, I'm a really fast pace. I want you guys to be able to absorb the information that I'm putting out, so I'm trying to do this at a slower pace. My heart's freaking racing right now just because I'm so hyped to be on the channel with everybody watching. I'm so hyped to be making this free content. I'm so hyped to be doing this on a daily basis. I'm literally living the dream. So hopefully it's a little slower. And if you like the content, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tick that little bell, because, boy, I am trying to grow. I am trying to expand here. Let's get back to the dollar. Targets to the downside. If we get that secondary candle closure, again, back below the 21, I will be looking for the low overall, 92.1. And if we recover back above the 21, I would be looking for another stab at resistance here at 92.80. But I don't have any targets above or below those targets until we see a break, right? Until we see a breakout or a breakdown. I'm just gonna expect to be bored for a little while longer on the US dollar index here. So let's go ahead and move on. We're gonna check out I think I want to hold off on Bitcoin for a minute. Let's go ahead and check out AMC here. Nice little bounce off the 21 exponential, and again, another one of those instances where we could formulate a higher low here. Target has been met, target has been met, target has been met. I've been looking at a pullback to the 21 exponential for the past 48 hours. 48 hours. Once I saw this candle closure here, I said, all right, maybe we see a spike back above resistance or a pullback to the 21 is extremely possible. I did identify targets along the way, and guess what? All three targets have been met to the downside. Nice juicy reaction off the 21 exponential with a nice bullish wick, forcing price action back to the positive here. And I will be looking for movement back up to this resistance, maybe a little higher as a result. I will be very confident that this is a higher low structure if I get any candle closure above $48 coming into tomorrow. I kind of want to see that happen tomorrow. We're looking at RSI here, a little sign of concern. We do have a negatively sloped exponential and a break below that exponential as well after the top call here. So we do see a little wane of momentum here, and stochastics definitely getting ready to initiate a crucial signal. But that is not to say that we couldn't see a full break and then touch the bottom side of the bullish control zone and revert back to the upside. But if we see price action continue, maybe we see a bounce off the bullish critical zone here and see price action move to new highs here. If we do get that that higher low confirmation above $48, I will look for price action to move back up to 53.88. However, if we continue to resist the 47.90 region, I'm going to be looking for more pressure along that 21 exponential, and I'm going to be looking for some crucial signals alongside the momentum oscillators here. The structure as a whole, again, when in doubt, pull out. This could very easily prove to be a macro lower high in the grand scheme of the entire structure, although it's not what I want to happen. I'm in a juicy position with AMC as it is right now. It's been a very, very, very delicious position, very profitable for myself. And obviously, sometimes you get that moon boy mentality. I want to see things go up and forever and to infinity and beyond. But in the back of my mind, I know that is not a realistic expectation that I can have. This is definitely a structure that I'm looking at to potentially formulate a lower high structure in the grand scheme of the overall structure as a whole. Yes, from a micro standpoint, yes, this is an uptrend. It is definitely a confirmed uptrend. The trend is your friend until the end of the trend. We have no signs of the trend coming to an end just yet. Right now I'm just kind of being patient. We got a nice test of the 21. We got a really delicious reaction off the 21, and I'm going to be looking for momentum to potentially carry up, onwards and upwards, and confirm, a higher low. However, if we break back down below the 21 exponential and confirm an open and closure below it, man, I do believe the trend is at risk to coming to an end here, as the next target to the downside would be about $40 even, and then obviously any candle closure below that would be absolute confirmation that the trend is no longer to the upside, and I'd be looking for setups to the downside to start formulating here on AMC. So I think one of the requests, no, I'm going to do it anyway. MMT still consolidating. The disposition remains the same. We do see a little bit of a breakdown below the 65 read here on stochastics. Not really the best signal in my opinion, confirming a lower high in formation. Let's go ahead and get that plotted out real quick. I don't know why it's not here. I thought I plotted it yesterday, but boom, look, boom, we got a nice breakdown. But guess what? We didn't see a break of formation, so a little bit of an inconsequential signal, nothing I would be taking trades on. But guess what? The pressure is on to the downside. We are seeing a little bit of weakness, right, in this formation. We're seeing a lot of pressure on this support level right now. I do believe that this support level is at risk of breaking here, and a test to the 21 is very, very, very likely in my opinion. We do also see RSI breaking below the exponential, if I can open it, breaking below the exponential and losing momentum as well, potentially confirming another macro lower high in the grand scheme of the entire structure. Not a delicious signal in my opinion. I'm in a position on this one as well. Obviously, pretty nice in the profit at the moment in time according to the 21 exponential. I did take profit, a small amount of profit at the $5 level, but I've been looking at that $6.80 level for quite some time. I had a plan to chop off a huge portion of my position here along that resistance level or somewhere near it before letting the position ride on. But it does seem like pressure is on to the downside. We do see momentum oscillators swaying towards that direction, and if we break this support level here, I will look for the 21 exponential to potentially break here. Jennifer Lynch says SCHP, HOV, and missed. Oh yeah, I'll do them. Heck yeah, I will do those. I will do them. I'm going to finish MMAT, and then I'm going to get to Bitcoin, and then requests will follow after. So for MMAT, if we see a closure back below that 21 exponential, obviously I'll look for an open and closure to confirm, but the next target is vastly lower here at $3.80, and I do believe we could be potentially at risk for a downtrend. But you got to also remember, downtrend confirmation won't be had until we see a break of the $3.45 low here, just below the 21 exponential back on the 27th of August. We still have not printed a higher low, so something like that is still very possible in the grand scheme of the entire structure here. And uptrend continuation is also one of those possibilities. If we do confirm a higher low on the 21 here, I'm going to be looking for that, more new highs all the way up to that $6.80 region. But nothing like that just yet. Still consolidating. Technically, yes, it's still consolidating. We haven't seen a break of the top side of the range or the bottom side of the range, and until one of those conditions is met, I stick with consolidation. Let's go ahead. We're going to do Bitcoin first. Ladies and gentlemen, could this be a bullish reversal? Could this be a bullish reversal to the $72,000 to $75,000 range for Bitcoin? Let's dive in and analyze. Yes, I do believe that it is potentially a reversal right here. We're going to talk about a couple of the indications here that I've been paying attention to. First and foremost, secondary candle closure back above the 21 exponential. Boom. Back test once again to confirm a support. As of now, we still have plenty of time and the candlesticks open here. But we saw a nice little bounce, a nice little reaction off the 21, and boom, we are currently above the 21 exponential. I got stomped out. And it was this formation here, and something that I didn't really pay attention to here, which I'm actually disappointed about here. We actually had a fucking bear flag formation right here. Right here. I talked about that little triangle formation, but I didn't talk about it being a freaking bear flag formation. But guess what? It was a bear flag formation. I was paying attention to it. I did think this price action here was going to break to the downside. It is a bearish setup in my opinion. But look at that, we broke out of the structure. We basically confirmed that it is no longer a bear flag structure here. This could potentially be a macro higher low, looking for bullish continuation to the upside. The honey hole that we are paying attention to, right? If we break above the overall resistance at 52,900, Man, I think it'll be blue fucking skies for Bitcoin here. Blue skies. And I'm actually going to get rid of this convoluted shit here. I don't know what I just deleted, but whatever. There we go. I do believe that it would be blue freaking skies here for Bitcoin. Obviously, playing with a couple of resistances to the upside, definitely putting them into consideration. But we broke a critical resistance yesterday. Right here, we broke a critical resistance right here yesterday, back above $47,900. Boom, and we are seeing price action stab the 21 and hold support above it right now. Any candle closure above this support level will convince me that the next target to the upside is somewhere around 40. We'll call it 50,000. We're just going to call it 50,000, and a break into that $50,000 territory, followed by a confirmation of support. And the next target for me would be that $52,800 level. At which point, I'm going to get very, very, very excited. Now let's look at momentum oscillators here. Higher low structure on stochastics confirmed. Bounce off the top side of the bearish control zone. Boom, re-entry into the neutral zone. Very, very, very sharply. I like that indication. 2 drives of bullish divergence on the 50 read here, back above. And this is one of those weaker signals, to be honest with you. We do see, the exponential hasn't really gone too positive nonetheless, but not too positive. But we do see a stab back above the exponential here, so it'll be interesting to see what price action does to the upside. If we do see a reversal back below the 21 exponential, this likely turns into a lower high formation, and the downside disposition from the past streams here becomes relevant once again. However, nice bullish reaction off of this diagonal trend line, remaining as tentative support, breaking back above a very critical, crucial resistance, looking to potentially confirm it as new tentative support as well. If we do get that confirmation above support, I have no reason not to think price action will come to this next resistance of 50,000 bucks. So that's what Bitcoin's doing for me. I do like the structure overall. I like the bounces off the 50 read and the failure from the bullish or from the bearish side. This is one of those potential examples where the bears could have been wrong here. The bears could definitely be wrong. And again, if we do see this prove to be a higher low structure from a macro standpoint, I have no reason to believe, I have no reason not to believe that price action won't be extremely momentous to the upside from here on out. So that's going to be it for Bitcoin here. Well, okay, if we crash below the 21, get an open and closure back below it, I'll look for this target once again at 44,580 and potentially even lower, right? Another potential fake out is possible, right? I got to talk about all the possibilities because they got to stay in my head, right? I got to be prepared for everything. I did get stomped out of a position, to be quite honest with you, but I lost about a 0.5% on the remainder of the position. Yes, I technically closed my position in the profit, but I still look at the overall loss as a loss. From my perspective, I want to enter a position, I want to take profits, and I want at the bare minimum to mitigate my risk off the 21 to a minimum of break even. And we'll go ahead and lay out my break even point for the 21. That was right here. I was so close. I was so freaking close to meeting that break-even target here for the 21 exponential, meaning if, the 21 exponential reached that point and I did 2% off of it, I would have broke absolute even if the market decided to reverse. But little too late here, and the market decided to potentially reverse right here. We are potentially looking at a macro higher low structure and potentially a heinous movement to the upside in the next coming days and weeks. So that's going to do it for Bitcoin. Let's move on to the Hall of Fame here. But I am convinced on the Hall of Fame that we are going to be on a trajectory for new lows. Again, this is one of those examples where I don't want to be cocky. I trade technical analysis. I trade what the chart tells me to trade. But we have been looking at this structure, and I have been identifying it as more probable to print new lows than to print a higher low. And look, we got this lower high structure off the 21 exponential after rejecting it. Boom, break through that critical resistance or that critical support that we are looking at, and look at what happened today. Boom. Back test confirmed as new tentative resistance. We do see RSI remaining below the exponential, remaining below the 50 read. Momentum is to the downside. Stochastics here crashing below the top side of the bearish control zone and diving even deeper. I think the momentum for the Hall of Fame is to the downside. The next target for me is $2.55. Any candle closure. I would even say a 4-hour candle closure below $2.55 here likely initiates a move all the way down to $2.41, at which point a new low would be confirmed, especially on a closing basis. If we get a candle closure at the $2.40 region here, I would look for a bounce, maybe back up to this region at $2.50 or even higher, back up to that $2.85 region. But I would expect a downtrend formation to begin articulating within this structure as a whole. And again, when you pull out, when in doubt, pull out. When you pull the whole structure out as a whole, this was the last uptrend right here, the last legitimate uptrend. This never confirmed as an uptrend at all whatsoever. There was no evidence of this ever becoming an uptrend because we did not get that higher low structure off of the 21 or off of the $2.85 region. The pressure is down. The pressure is down, and the targets have been met. LOL, die, bitch, die. It's gonna be like Black Friday. From a trading perspective, not looking too hot. From an investment perspective, so just to let you know, Jen, that my original entry point is right here. $1.80. That's where I got in originally. So while this is coming down, and there is a little bit of it, a little bit of investment in excitement from my perspective that this may crash to the downside, saying that this price action is going to go all the way down back to $1.80 or lower is way out of line. Way out of line. I'm not saying that that's not possible, but from my perspective, at the current moment in time, is absolutely impossible for price action to reach that low unless we get confirmation of continuation to the downside, right? I don't see the evidence of anything lower than $2.41 right now at the current moment in time until proven otherwise. So we got the targets to the downside identified. And for argument's sake, yes, we could technically print a higher low here. We could print a higher low here, and I would be confident of this being a higher low if we see a recovery back above the 21 exponential, $3. I want to see an open and closure back above $3 before I'm convinced that there's a higher low structure here, at which point I would look for price action to re-enter that $3.05 blue box territory here and look for potential new highs. But look at this pressure. We got we got a lower high and then a lower high and then continuation. Momentum oscillators are looking beat up, showing no signs of stopping momentum to the downside. I could be wrong. Again, that's why I prepare for both sides. I am prepared for consolidation, I'm prepared for movements to the upside, and I'm prepared for movements to the downside from a trading perspective. But as long as we remain below that 21 exponential, I am not confident of any price action momentum to the upside. And that's going to do it for the Hall of Fame. I got one for SCHP. I don't think I've ever done that one. SCHP. Schwab! Is that right? New York Stock Exchange, ARCA. Ugh. I don't like charts like this, but I can analyze it. This one, in my opinion, is bullish as fuck. God, what the fuzzna? Holy shit. God damn. God damn. I don't like the lows. I don't like the new lows. We're consolidating on the 21 exponential. We're consolidating on the 50 read from an RSI perspective. All right, let's get some lines plotted here, right? All-time high resistance, boom. Median low, boom. Definitely could be consolidating right now. Very choppy, very ugly consolidation, but with ugly and choppy charts, it doesn't have to be a clean analysis. You just kind of have to have a fundamental understanding of what's kind of going on here. We are consolidating on the 21 exponential right now, putting a lot of pressure on it. I would say safely that if we see an open and closure below that 21 exponential here, price action movement to the downside to this support at 62.90 is going to be the next target for this price action to the downside. We do see RSI here. Lower low, lower low, lower low, lower low. This is so choppy. This is so choppy. But we are back above the exponential here. We're back above the 50 read on another low. Where's this low? A lower low. Very, very, very evident here. This is definitely a lower low in the formation. But you got to look at the structure as a whole. Again, this is another instance where this could prove to be a macro high or low, and as long as price action is above the 21 exponential, I have no reason not to look for price action to move up to this resistance, right? We need to break this consolidation here. We are consolidating here, and in my opinion, a break of that consolidation either to the upside or to the downside likely indicates the next next momentous move to either to the upside or to the downside. We do see a building of momentum here from stochastics bouncing off the critical zone. Boom, shooting straight back up in line with price action, printing and confirming that low. Boom, back up, consolidation. No top call just yet, so it's up to one or the other of the sides to either force price action to the upside and continue to drive to the upside, or force price action below the 21, confirming a trade to the downside here. Any candle closure above the top side resistance here at 63.45. I would look for a move here. I would look for a move right here. Sometimes it's hard to identify tops here, but I would look for a move to 63.60 here, and then I would come back and reanalyze that one. RSI is a little choppy though. RSI is the one indicator here that's telling me, be careful, be careful. Morris Merritt, traders _ Contigio via Telegram. You're such a light. Thank you for brightening my view when all I could see was darkness. You are such a special person, and I am so incredibly lucky to call you my friend. I'm not. I appreciate the kind words, Morris. But I'm not trader _ Chantigo. I'm crypto bro. And this is Blackfire Technical Analysis. But if you're enjoying the content here, man, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tick that little bell. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving me a view. I vastly appreciate it. But that's not me, man. I'm not at trader _ Chantigo via Telegram. I don't even have a Telegram. I'm so sorry. But thank you. Yeah, thank you for the comment, man. Thank you. Let's go ahead and get back to it. I think that's going to wrap it up for, what was this? Schwaba. Again, pay attention to the support here at 63.22. Pay attention to the resistance here. Again, in my opinion, a break above resistance or a break below support likely indicates the next move in this market structure here. So that's going to do it for that one. What's the next one I got requested? MIST. MIST. Milestone Pharmaceuticals. I think I've done this one. I haven't. What a dog shit chart. Oh my goodness. Oh. Alright, so a couple of things. I got 3 viewers. Welcome. Hello. Thank you for being here. Okay, Jennifer? 2 things. First thing. This chart's not that old. It does have 2 years. It is 2 years old. Not that old. And number 2, it doesn't look that great. It looks like eternal consolidation here. This does not look good here. We're gonna plot some points. Boom. A higher low. We have a higher low. Oh! It's going to the fucking moon! Woo! Now, all jokes aside here, look at this 21, man. Look at this 21. Just consolidating. I can confidently say, until I see a break above the top side of the range or a break below the bottom side of the range, there are no targets for this price action here. However, I will identify potential targets if one of those conditions is met here. Maybe a little bit of consolidation here. So with a new chart, I get a little quiet because I have to think. I have to plot some points. We do see a lot of resistance here. Flip to new tentative support here. Act as resistance here and support here. That's a valid trend line. Anything to the downside? Oh boy. Oh man. Ooh. Oh. Ooh my goodness. Oh. Boom. Nah, I'd be confident with this. Where is it? Yeah, that would be the first target. That would be the first target to the downside. Okay. It's consolidating, right? The only contributing factor to any potential upside here is the fact that we do have a series of higher lows, right? We do have a higher high. We broke that resistance here. We did confirm above that resistance, saw a nasty, heinous pullback. Boom, bounced off this region here, confirmed a higher low back above the 21 exponential. We do see, evidence of that potentially gaining momentum to the upside. Stochastics is pretty beat up right now, but we do see a little bit of lacking of downside momentum with that sideways tick here. And I would be confident in saying if we get that secondary closure back above the 21 exponential, the next target to the upside is likely to be this high right here, and maybe even beyond. We haven't seen a trend formulate out of this structure at all, and this has been going on since freaking April. It's been consolidating since April. This is definitely a longer term consolidation phase, and again, this is one of those charts that I don't really trust right now because you opened up and then you just die, get an uptrend, and then consolidate for months and months and months and months. So as far as this formation is concerned, I want to see a break above the top side resistance or a break below the bottom side support here. Any closure below $5.22 likely tells me that this one's ready to die straight up, and the next target to the downside is $4.57. This prior high right here that was printed on the 9th of June 2020. Yes. And again, RSI definitely indicative here of that consolidation here, basically just choppy chop, in the neutral zone here. Yeah, above the 50 read, but again, unless I see, critical indications telling me, yeah, this move is legitimately momentous, again, we need to see that secondary candle closure above the 21 first and foremost, and a continuation drive with RSI, preferably to new highs, and preferably remaining above the 50 read here, not using it as resistance anymore. Maybe we see it flip and test and confirm it as support. That would definitely be another indication of continuation, and I need to see stochastics move to the upside as well. And until proven otherwise, it's going to remain consolidation. Consolidation is consolidation until the end of that phase. Let's go ahead and move on to the cryptocurrency requests here. Oh, Cardano. Likely to move the same way Bitcoin's moving. Where is ADA? Boom. Except not. Still below the 21 exponential. And okay. Okay, if Bitcoin, does its thing, curls back up, continues to be, continues to remain in a bullish uptrend, this one likely does the same by confirming this structure here as a macro higher low. We do have two drives of bullish divergence off that 50 read. Give me 1 second. I need some water. Whew, breath. Oh my goodness. Oh, excuse me. Okay, Cardano. We do see kind of a similar structure. We do see a kind of a similar structure, except for that back above the 21, right? The 21 is the most important factor for any asset that I trade or analyze. As long as we remain below the 21 exponential, I'm going to be looking for pressure to the downside. We do see stochastics here, confirming that bullish divergence, and then just weekly, moving to the upside, not really gaining any momentum to the upside either. We do see a fresh stochastics cross, though, in the neutral zone, so there is something from the bullish perspective to be aware of. But again, until we see a candle closure back above that 21 exponential, I really don't have targets to the upside. Right now, targets could come all the way back down to the current lows here at $2.38, $2.39, very, very, very possibly. But if we do get that closure back above, and we do have a closure above support, and we are testing support to confirm it as support, so there is something there. But again, for my confidence, from my perspective, the 21 is the most important factor for me determining any kind of positions on any kind of asset at the current moment in time. That is the main strategy that I use, and as long as price action is below the 21 exponential here, from my trading rule perspective, I'm looking for downside price action. Now, if we do open and close above the 21, this will be the next target that I'm going to be looking for. It's $2.85 to the upside, and likely new all-time highs. Again, if Bitcoin, if not new all-time highs, yeah, new all-time highs. If Bitcoin reverts and continues the bullish trend to the upside, this one likely follows suit. Targets to the downside, if we continue to see momentum to the downside here below this potential new support at $2.42. This is going to be the first target that I look at. $2.19. We'll just call it $2.20, give or take a couple cents here, would be the next target. Anywhere below that, this is going to be my next target here. $1.92. We're going to remove that and put one of my handy dandy support levels there. And to the upside, Fibonacci extensions. Again, Any closure above the all-time high. The one spot 414 Fibonacci extension is going to be the next target for me to be looking for on Cardano at $3.21. Very boring price action for this, not reacting the same way as Bitcoin, still below the 21. So I'd say just kind of be patient for this one. See if we get any crucial indications back above that 21 before making any decisions. But we do have targets to the downside here, only 2 of them, and 1 target to the upside. That's going to do it for Cardano. Ethereum! I haven't looked at that one in a hot minute. Yeah, very similar disposition as Bitcoin here. 2 candle closures back above the 21 exponential, back above resistance, confirming it as new tentative support potentially today. If we do get that confirmation above support, I'm going to be looking for the next target to be the current high. Somewhere around 39.54 would be the next target that I'm going to be looking for price action to move towards here. And again, with Bitcoin potentially flipping, and if Bitcoin prints new highs, this one likely does the same as well. Again, Ethereum is one of those coins that definitely follows Bitcoin here, sometimes more powerfully. Obviously, this move here has been extremely powerful to the upside. And looking at this is another higher low in the formation, so I have to automatically look for new highs in the structure as well. And unless we break back below, man, they're so convoluted. Let's get rid of some of these. We're gonna plot some new points here. Clean this chart up a little bit. If we close back below the 21 exponential, which in my opinion I'm not looking for here, obviously I'm going to be looking for the current low here, somewhere around 31.90 to be the next tested target. Again, assuming that we see price action open and close below that region, that would be the first tentative target for me to be looking for here. But again, we're seeing a positive slope on momentum oscillators here, especially with RSI back above the exponential here, sloping that exponential back to a positive slope after that drive of bullish divergence. Stochastics bouncing off the top side of the bullish control zone. Boom, back up. I like what's going on here. If we confirm this region here as support, don't confirm any kind of lower high, I'm looking for continuation on Ethereum here. So that's going to do it for that one. DOT, likely one of the ones that's just been going up the whole time. .USD. Binance, new all-time high. Looking at test the support right now. Nice little pullback, but again, we have in consideration here the potential for bearish divergence right along the bottom side of the bullish control zone here. It does look like maybe we get that bearish divergence if we close anywhere below this support level here, the current breakout point at 34.24. I will look for that bearish divergence to play out, likely all the way down to the 21 exponential here. And then I would come back for a further analysis here. But if we break below that 21 exponential, the current low is going to be my next target here, all the way down at 27.70. However, if we hold this region as support and don't confirm a bearish divergence drive, I will look for price action to come back up and test the current resistance somewhere along 37.40 and a break above 37.40. And I will look for the next price action target back up to $40.50. We do see stochastics in the critical zone once again. Very, very positive, very positive and girthy to the upside for sure. So always remember, just because very, very strengthful does not necessarily mean that it's going to print a new high above the current stochastics high. We still have potential for bearish divergence on RSI and on stochastics as well. And if we confirm a top below this support level here at 34.45, I'm going to be looking for a drive down to the 21 and maybe even a stab lower. So that's going to do it for .USD. What's next? Link. Same as Bitcoin. Back above the 21, secondary candle closure back above the 21 and above, damn it, I'm tripping. We saw a closure above resistance. Back test to confirm his new tentative resistance with a secondary candle closure back above the 21 exponential and a continuation drive as a result here. We do see stochastics gaining momentum off the middle of the bearish control zone here. I do like that signal. Again, another example of that higher low structure. Uptrend is still validated until proven otherwise. The next target that I'm going to be looking for has already been met. I want to wait for a closure above 32.20 here, and if we get that condition, I will be looking for price action to move back up to 34.75, likely higher. Again, if this proves to be a macro higher low for cryptocurrency here, new highs are going to be the next expectation. Let's go ahead and look for a potential target to the upside. Boom, that's a good one. If we confirm new highs, above this resistance here and confirm it as support, I'll have no reason not to look for price action to move up to 42.54 as the next movement for this price action here. And again, the same disposition is for the downside follows. If we break below the 21 exponential here, confirm a lower high, I'm going to be looking for potential downtrend to begin articulating itself, with the next target to the downside being 26.35. Yeah, very similar disposition as Bitcoin. And yeah, I think that's going to do it, everybody. Thanks to everybody that came through. Thanks for watching the video. If you're new to the channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tick that little bell. There's content dropping every single day. I'm still, basically working on ideas for instructional content for the intro to TA segment of the YouTube channel. I'm working. So thanks for being here. Thanks for being a part of the community. Thank you for supporting my dreams. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tick that little bell. And until next time, everybody, you know what it is. Stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy.